Simon, must be a lot of relief, but also a lot of pride now knowing that you've locked in a final spot.
I think there's still some mathematical equations to be made first, but yeah, look, it wasn't our best game of basketball by any stretch of the imagination. I think our composure probably wasn't at its highest, but I thought we dug in defensively and we played the right way. And maybe over the last couple of games, you could maybe suggest we weren't playing the right way, but. You know, we had a bit of swerve on with our offense in the first half. That dried up a little bit, but we were able to maintain some stops at the defensive end, so that was really pleasing. And I thought our guys rebounded really well.
Similar in some ways to the last two games up in Cairns, where you had a double-figure lead. The opposition came back, gave themselves a chance down the stretch, but like you said, this time you did get some big stops down the finish.
Yeah, and look, we're working on it. We need to be a little bit more fluent. We were a little bit tight at times. Some of our decision-making maybe not on point, but at least the effort was there at the other end of the floor tonight, and that's most important.
Big game from Kiefer as well. I mean, he just looked like he was a man on a mission out there tonight.
Yeah, he did, and you know, that's a level we need to play. He needs to play at all times for us to be successful, and he's got the ability to, obviously. He may have been down a little bit the last two games for various reasons, but it's good to see him back on top of his body and back on top of his game.
Important role from Ben Moore as well. He was really important in the
yeah,
result.
I thought that was Benny's best game for a little while for us. You know, he was just mentioned to him in the pre-game, just, mate, it'd be nice if he went and got 10 boards for us tonight, and I don't know what he finished with, but I think he would have had those, and just his presence on the offensive boards, giving us second looks, and his composure around the rim, finishing, you know, cleaning up other people's work, it was good. It was good for him, and defensively, he's still got a couple of fouls there, but he was able to play with those tonight, and that's really important for us.
And Mitch, you came to this club to lead them to the finals and to get this franchise up and running. It must be a good feeling knowing that you're all but there now.
Yeah, as Simon said, we're not there yet. Stranger things have happened in the sporting world, and we need to go and take care of business with Brisbane on Tuesday. They gave us a bit of a touch-up last weekend in Cairns, and I know the guys have been on the road, had our backs against the wall quite a bit. It's been pretty unsettling and a lot of changes, but I think we found our feet tonight. We closed out a tough game against a really well-coached and very talented New Zealand side, and full credit to them all season and what they did, what they sacrificed. But yeah, look, to come in and to say that our second year we've all but made the finals is pretty surreal. It'll probably hit us the next day or so when we're on the plane or something like that, flying back to Australia. But right now we'll recover, we'll rest up, and yeah, get into it on Tuesday again.
Before I let Kane take over, you'd be happy for Cam Glidden back home as well. He's welcomed his second baby.
Jim Dog.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Better be a shooter with a name like Archer, eh? Jimmy Dog. So, yeah, no, it's great. We're really wrapped for Cam. You know, like, he's just a big part of our group. We've missed him, but we're really happy for him, pleased for him, and you know, shout out to all the Glidden family, and you know, welcome to the world, Jim Dog.
Yeah, massive sacrifice.
We both said it should be Mitchos.
Mitchos was the name. Was the preferred name.
We agreed upon that.
He didn't go for it.
He doesn't listen well sometimes.
But yeah, massive shout out to Cam. Huge decision he made. Put his family first, and we all supported him. To Sarah and to the other kids as well. We love you guys, and we'll be back soon.
Kane, you're up.
Yeah, Simon, I just want to touch on a couple of things you mentioned already there. But with Ben in particular, I mean, Colton Iverson's he's a big guy. He's been a force on the glass throughout the season. Was it sort of by design that you were going to play a lot of Yanni and Ben together, or was it? I know Mitch had a bit of foul trouble there. Did extended periods.
You faded out on us just a little there. But, by design, look, we don't have a lot of design when it comes to the rationing of court time. We feel like we've got guys that contribute across the board, and it's going to be someone's night every different night. You know, I was really hoping Yanni would have one of his big ones tonight in front of his home crowds. The first time he's had an opportunity to play here since he was a high schooler, and but it wasn't particularly his night tonight. He did play well, but it wasn't like he had some of the dominant games he's had recently. So, you know, Benny's someone who's maybe been a little bit subpar with his form in some recent games. He's found himself in foul trouble. He's But we've got to get him minutes. He's an important piece for our team, and going into or potentially going into playoffs, we want to make sure that everybody's up and firing, everybody's getting the run. So it's really pleased for Benny. He's a lovely guy. We love him, and it was good to see him back on track tonight.
And just back to Kiefer, I think in the second quarter there, it felt like there was 9 or 10 offensive possessions in a row where it was literally just set a screen, they're going to switch, get the mismatch on the big, and let him go to work. When you have Kiefer rolling like that, is it just as simple as, listen, let's just keep working until this doesn't anymore?
Well, it's common sense, really, isn't it? You just sort of got to milk that when he's on a roll like that. And, I mean, the great players around the league can get going like that, and sometimes they get really hard to stop. And the one thing you don't want is your coach stopping you by putting the ball in other people's hands. So, we thought we had a little bit of an advantage there in that 1-5 pick and roll. Kiefer got in a roll, so we just sort of tried to keep milking that as long as we could. We maybe stuck with that a little too deep into the fourth quarter, but, we had to ride that out in the second.
And Mitch, for you, I know Simon a couple of nights ago mentioned maybe you guys looked a little bit tight. Clearly, there's a lot on the line tonight. Maybe that was a little bit of a case as well. For you guys, how do you work through that on the court, particularly offensively, where it might impact you more than on the other end?
Yeah, I think our ability to play off the switch, we've definitely improved on. We found a lot of cutters on the second side when they were switching and trying to base me and Ben especially. We found ways to kind of move the ball, and I thought we got a lot of really good shots tonight. I think Rowdy came off about 4 or 5 wide open looks, missed them, they rattle out, and we can't get down on those. I think we've been getting deflated when we miss kind of easy shots that we should be making. And that's just an experience thing. This club's never made the finals. It's our second season. Guys are still learning to play together. We had a big switch over of bodies from year 1 to year 2, so we're still trying to find that cohesiveness when the times are really tough. We've played in a lot of close games. We've won a lot of close games this year, but it's about how we finish now when the pressure is even more paramount with finals on the line. There is a little bit of that kind of tense feel from certain people and certain occasions, but as leaders, we've got to bring people into huddles and say, hey, look, we're okay. Let's get a stop. Let's focus on this, and this. And it's not always about offensive scoring, but as leaders and some of the main role players, we have to carry a bit of that load, but we've also got to give other guys confidence to go out and shoot those shots confidently because that's what they do best.
You were one of the few guys that was here last year, and I'm throwing this number off the top of my head, but I think there must have been 7 or 8 games that you lost by 5 or 6 points last year, and it felt like you weren't able to come up with those stops. So for you going through that last year and then winning a game like this, that's essentially a playoff game. You need to win. What do you take from that, and how have you sensed the confidence building on being able to get those stops? Yeah,
look, credit to Ty. He made some big plays down the stretch, but we had extremely good rotational defense, wall-ups, and he made tough shots. We have live with and we have categories that we focus on, and he made some tough shots. He got a few calls, and that's how it kind of went for him. But for us to have second and third rotations and then have a wall-up at the end, and then we have someone cracking down a guard on a big for a box out, and then a third guy swooping in to get a rebound. Rowdy had a 10 boards or whatever it was. That's what's impressive. It's not about can we get a one-on-one stop. It's about when we have second, third, fourth, fifth rotations and we have those 4 to 5 jobs that we have to all do in sync, pressure, crowd, everything. That's what's impressive. The buy-in from that. We've done a lot of work. We continue to do a lot of work. That for me is the most impressive thing from the group this season, especially closing games like tonight.
And Simon, just last one from me. I don't know if this is even something you can answer, but I know Dean was talking about it the other night in terms of the semi-final series. If it is Melbourne, it's probably not going to be down here in Victoria. So how do you prepare, or what is the group planning to do in terms of how long you might be on the road? Is there anything you can do about that?
No, we really don't have any idea where we're going to be sent. For us right now, we've got to recover from this game and focus on the Brisbane game, and then I guess we'll know where we sit after that. But there's a little bit of water to go under that bridge from the NBL to communicate something to us on how that's going to happen. I've not heard anything. I guess we hadn't qualified for anything either, so well, I don't know why they'd be telling us something that we hadn't done yet. So yeah, we'll just wait and see.
Go get some buckets, some stops.
And Craigie, can I just finish off? Tuesday night's game, it's going to be, you would think, Andre Lamantis' last game in the NBL, unless something unbelievable happens, which would mean it's not great news for you. But, I mean, he's been a massive part of your career, obviously, with the Boomers. You haven't played under him at NBL level, but you've played against his teams a lot. Can you talk to me about your thoughts about being there now for his last game on Tuesday?
Yeah, Dre and I have got a great relationship. We have for quite some years, as you said, with the national program. You know, he's a guy that I really enjoy his company on and off the court as a coach and as a friend as well. And you know, he's very caring, he's very charismatic. You know, for me, he's someone that I've always looked up to as a coach, and his many years in New Zealand as well. You know, it's going to be special. Anytime someone plays or coaches their last game, there's always that little bit of extra feel and bite that team or person might have, and I'm sure he's going to get his guys revved up, ready to go. You know, I give him, you know, all the props in the world. He's been fantastic for Basketball Australia, the Olympic program, and all the guys along the way that he's coached and had an effect on. So, you know, he gave me my first Boomers jersey, and I remember that moment forever. I bawled my eyes out in front of him like a 5-year-old kid having a tantrum for about 5 minutes, and he just hugged me. So we've had some special memories together. I wish him all the best moving forward with his next roles in life as well. So I know he'll do fantastic things.